Over the next few minutes, we'll break down 10 key terms. The ones that are the real building blocks for understanding medical reports. Ready to jump in? So, you might be looking at these big, complicated words and thinking, how am I ever going to remember all this? Well, it's actually way simpler than you'd think. Okay, so the secret here isn't about memorizing a dictionary. No way. It's all about playing detective and breaking these words down into their basic parts. We're going to start with two terms that are all about glands. Once you see how they're connected, you'll start spotting these patterns everywhere. It makes learning this stuff so much easier. First up, we've got adenitis. Let's break it down. You see adon, that's your clue for gland. And itis, you're going to see this suffix all the time. It means inflammation. So put them together, and what do you get? Adenitis is just inflammation of a gland. Simple, right? This could be in your lymph nodes or even your sweat glands, and it's basically your body's immune system sounding the alarm. All right, next up, adenoma. See, we've still got our root adon for gland, but this time we're swapping out a suffix for oma, and oma means tumor. So an adenoma is a non-cancerous or benign tumor that pops up in glandular tissue. Now, this is super important. Just because it's benign doesn't mean it's harmless. Not at all. If one of these shows up on, say, your pituitary or thyroid gland, it can start pumping out extra hormones and cause some really serious problems. Okay, now we're moving on to our biggest section yet. This is where you'll really see how powerful this word part strategy is. We're about to tackle 5 different terms, but they all revolve around one single root, arthra. You get this one root down, and you've basically unlocked a whole family of medical terms related to joints. It's a game changer. Just look at this. It all starts with arthra, which means joint, and then, just by swapping out the ending, we create totally different meanings. We can talk about pain with algia, inflammation with our old friend itis, or a whole medical procedure with scopy. Let's walk through these one by one. Okay, first in the family is arthralgia. We've got arth for joint, and the new suffix is algia, which means pain. So, arthralgia is, you guessed it, joint pain. But here's the key difference you got to remember. This is a symptom, not the disease itself. It's just your body sending a signal, and you can have this pain even without any inflammation. Now, let's compare that directly with arthritis. We have the same root, arth, but now we're using itis, which we know means inflammation. So this isn't just a symptom like pain. Arthritis is the actual disease process. It's when the joint itself is inflamed, breaking down, and causing all that pain, swelling, and stiffness. Moving on in our arthro family, we have arthrogram. Arthro is still joint, and gram means a record or an image. Think of it like a special kind of X-ray for a joint. What makes it special? Well, they inject a contrast dye first. This is the cool part. That dye lets doctors see all the soft tissues like ligaments and cartilage that a regular X-ray would completely miss. So how do surgeons actually see what's going on inside a joint without, cutting it wide open? They use an arthroscope. Again, arthro is joint and scope refers to an instrument for viewing. This is literally the tool they use. It's a super thin tube with a tiny camera and a light on the end that they can slide right into the joint space. And that leads us perfectly to arthroscopy. It's a simple distinction. If the arthroscope is the tool, then arthroscopy is the procedure. That suffix scopy means the process of visual examination. So this is the actual minimally invasive surgery where a doctor uses that cool little scope to look around, figure out what's wrong, and sometimes even fix it right then and there. Okay, we're on the home stretch. Let's wrap this up with our final 3 terms. These are some really foundational concepts that you're going to see pop up all over the place, not just in one specific area, but across medicine and biology. First one is anemia. Let's look at the parts. The prefix "an" means without, and the ending "emia" is all about a blood condition. So with anemia, your blood just doesn't have enough healthy red blood cells. And what do red blood cells do? They carry oxygen. So if you don't have enough of them, your body's tissues aren't getting the oxygen they need. And that's exactly why people with anemia feel so tired and weak. Next, we have autopsy. The prefix auto means self, and opsy means the process of viewing. So the literal meaning is actually pretty cool, to see for oneself. And that's exactly what it is. It's an examination of a body after death, a post-mortem, to find out for sure what the cause of death was, whether it's for legal reasons or for scientific research. And for our last one, we have a term you probably already know, biology. but let's break it down anyway. The root bio means life, and that common suffix, -logy, means the study of. So it's the scientific study of life and all living things from the tiniest molecules all the way up to how entire ecosystems work. All right, you've made it through all 10 terms. So now let's put that new knowledge into practice. I've got a quick challenge question for you. Think about it as a pop quiz. Let's see what you got. Okay, here's the situation. A patient comes in with both pain and inflammation in their joint. To figure it out, a doctor does a visual examination using a special instrument to look inside. So, which of these pairs of words best describes the patient's condition and what the doctor did? Read through the options on your screen. Go ahead and pause here, think it through, and pick your answer. Ready? The correct answer is B, arthritis and arthroscopy. Let's quickly go over why. The keywords in the problem were joint inflammation, that's arthritis, arth plus itis, and the procedure was a visual examination of the joint, that's arthroscopy, arthro plus scopy. See how it fits perfectly? Arthralgia would just be pain without the inflammation, and an arthrogram is the picture, not the actual procedure. Awesome work. So look, the big takeaway here is that medical terminology isn't just about memorizing a bunch of boring words. It's really like learning a new language, a language that tells the story of what's happening inside the human body. So I'll leave you with this thought. Now that you have the keys to decode this language, what hidden stories are you going to find in the next medical report you read?